So, Fifth Harmony is allegedly coming back, but should they come back? Let's talk about it. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I hope you guys are ready for another slice of cake because today we are going to be talking about the exclusive news that was reported by The Hollywood Reporter that said that Fifth Harmony is in talks to reunite. So, the title of the article, it came out May 28th, came out yesterday at the time of recording, is Fifth Harmony minus Camilla Cabello in talks to reunite. And the article divulges, I'm going to read from the article a little bit. Fifth Harmony are in talks to reunite. Multiple sources familiar with the matter told Hollywood Reporter. The reunion would include all of the girl group members except for Camila Cabello, who left 5H at the end of 2016. They then talk about, obviously, like the history of the group, some of their big hits like Work From Home, Worth It. One of my favorites from the group was, it was definitely Work From Home, but it was also a Flex! Time to invest! And it talks about, like how Camila Cabello left the group in 2016, how they said they were going to continue as a group before, they re-signed with Epic Records, and then they released, like, the self-titled album in 2017. 2018, they went on hiatus and was dropped by Epic Records. And how a lot of the article specifically talks about how, like, all the girls have dropped, like, various singles and EPs and stuff like that since splitting up. In the article, we're gonna dig into this. The article says, as solo artist, Cabello has enjoyed the most successful career with massive global hits like Havana featuring Young Thug and Senorita with Shawn Mendes, Brooke Jane. Like, they talk about all the girls, how they released, like, various singles and EPs. The article tends to focus the most on, like, I would argue, like, the two biggest members of the group who have gone solo, which was Camila Cabello and Normani. Talks about how Normani had Motivation, Love Lies with Khaled, and then how she released Dopamine last year, which, if you guys have followed the podcast, you guys know last year was a pretty big year for me in the podcast because I was talking a lot about Dopamine and my thoughts on everything with that. And article also has this quote near the end, talks about how the new Fifth Harmony has big plans for 2026, which would mark the 10-year anniversary of 727 and Work From Home. Per insiders, the group is working on a documentary to chronicle the return to stage, which would capture footage on a yet-to-be-announced tour. It's unclear who is managing the group, but Will Bracey, who is married to Fifth Harmony member Ally Brooke and serves as chief operating officer of the Justin Bieber family office, is said to be leading charge. And then how, like, everyone declined to comment on this. I'm kind of mixed on my thoughts, because when the news broke, two of my friends kind of sent me the news, and I was kind of, like, mixed on it, which, okay, I know I'm a Normani fan. Let me try to put that on the side, and we'll dig in, we'll circle back to that later. I'm open to new music from the group, but I also don't think the group should come back. Like, I know the girls on TikTok, like, last year, around the time that, like, Dopamine was rolling out, they were, like, pushing for this, like, Fifth Harmony renaissance and how, like, they wanted the girls back together. They were pushing the old songs. The songs were coming back into circulation. And people were, like, asking Normani and, like, the other girls, like, oh, like, do you guys want to, like, would you guys go back as, like, would the girls come back together as Fifth Harmony? And, like, Ally and, what's her name? Ally and Dina and Lauren were all like, oh, like, they're, like, some of the girls were, like, really excited. Like, I know, like, Ally and Dina were like, oh, like, I absolutely would go back. And then you had, like, Normani in the interview with, like, Billboard, where they were like, oh, like, I heard Fifth Harmony's coming back, is open to coming back, and she's like, huh? she was a little bit confused by the news. And, like, in future interviews, when they talk about, like, Fifth Harmony, Normani does obviously like give a lot of love to the girls, and a lot of love to her history with Fifth Harmony, even though she did have a rough history with Fifth Harmony. Um, I am mixed on. Again, I'm still mixed on it because like it's been a while since the girls have been back. The girls have been a successful group, so obviously, like, I'm welcome to new music. The girls definitely had their success as a girl group, so I'm like not against them. I'm not against them coming back fully. That's why I'm mixed on it because like they had their hits during their time. They still clearly have like a fan base that would tune into new music, a fan base that would tune into a tour. But I also feel like it doesn't really make sense to have okay, let me gather my thoughts because like part of me feels like the time has passed, but it's kind of clear by like how the Renaissance came back and stuff like that. How like maybe it hasn't come back, like maybe it hasn't passed. Maybe there's still interest in Fifth Harmony as a group and with music, but part of me also just feels like it doesn't really make sense, and it also has like kind of an odd look that like the girls are gonna come back without Camilla, and like that's to say that like oh like because like when I saw the news I was like oh like at first I saw the like I think it was the Pop Crave headline on Twitter in which it was like it just said like oh Fifth Harmony's in talks to come back, and I'm like oh that's interesting, whoa like what's going on. And at first I'm like, okay, like I kind of thought the time had passed. I mean, I'm not against new music, but I think the girls all coming back would be like a smart move. Like overall, like you can kind of have it both ways with the girls coming back because like you can have the girls come back, you're bringing attention back on the girls. Everyone's gonna kind of remember the things that like Fifth Harmony was. They can improve on the things that Fifth Harmony wasn't, which was cohesive. Like we all were making fun about how Fifth Harmony, like their costume design and stuff was not cohesive. They was all just dressing in whatever, and they was like fuck everybody. And then you had the performances in which it was like they was just doing whatever. Um, you can come back and it can be a more cohesive force going forward, especially since like time has come. They all kind of know their like singular talents and also how to bring it together as a group. They have had the time to like sit back and see like oh like here's what we can improve on, here's what the girls want, here's what we want. um and they can also use the group as an advantage to push like their solo music as well, because the Fifth Harmony fan base was also something that like the girls were pulling on for their solo music, like for everybody. Camilla was pulling on it for for her solo music. Normani was pulling on a little bit unintentionally. Um, and the other girls were also pulling on it as well. But then I read the article, obviously, because, like, you got to read the article. And I was like, oh, so Camilla's dookie ass is sitting out. Um, and then I'm like, because it's just like, it's odd. Like, I understand why Camilla's trying to sit out because she thinks that she's better than this. Like, she thinks that, like, oh, like, I remember one of the interviews that came out when, like, I think it was after CXOXO came out, and she was just like, oh, I have a lot of love for the girls, but I just don't think that, like, she basically was saying that like she felt like she wasn't a big fan. She wanted to go solo, and because like she had a vision that wasn't fitting the overall vision, which like when the way I explain it makes sense and that's completely fair. But the way she said it, I was like, "What the hell is you? I don't know." Wasn't feeling it, and like obviously, I have my thoughts on the girl for various reasons. You can check the Getty. You can check my video, my podcast talking about the girl. You can check previous episodes in which I talked about the girl. You can check back when I was doing edit videos when I did the Cinderella video. You can check that for evidence. I will link it both in the description below so you can look back and see my evidence because I keep my receipts and I own up to my receipts. I just think that it's odd because on one hand you're gonna have like some of the haters and some of the Camilla fans who are also haters as well of these girls, who are gonna look at these girls coming back together and look at Camilla still like kind of staying out the group and being like, oh, like maybe the girls are desperate, maybe the girls are like not liking how their solo careers and stuff are heading. Maybe there's a da 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 da. I've seen a lot of people like kind of look at Normani and be like, oh, like Normani, like you're supposed to be better than this. Like what happened? Like a lot of people were saying that like Normani should be in like bigger heights and stuff like that. Um, which like I mean I guess was gonna happen inevitably, but like again I also feel like as much as I don't like Camila Cabello, she is an important part to the history of Fifth Harmony, and I think that she should be. I feel like she's like pushing her nose up at Fifth Harmony when she should remember her roots. Like I feel like there is still a lot of history and a lot of stuff that is connected. You know that like she has like there's ancestral ties to Fifth Harmony. Like there's stuff that like at the end of the day, like people are gonna remember her from Fifth Harmony and those ties and stuff like that. She will never be truly removed from the history of Fifth Harmony, and I feel like her kind of like refusing and like avoiding Fifth Harmony in the ways that she has, like, it's very weird. It's kind of reminding me of the ways that like Justin Timberlake, when he went solo, was kind of moving away and avoiding NSYNC and stuff like that. Is it NSYNC? I don't know that white man. I'm pretty sure it's NSYNC. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But how he was kind of like avoiding NSYNC and how NSYNC and stuff was like they were kind of doing like stuff together without him, but it wasn't like it's kind of and he like again Justin Timberlake was continuously kind of ignoring the group until his appeal dropped when the people started not really caring about Justin Timberlake, and he had that like that album that came out that nobody tuned into, and then he was like, "Oh, now I'm having an identity crisis. Let me act like I love NSYNC, and now I'm back with NSYNC, and I'm doing like the Trolls movie with NSYNC," and everybody eating it up, but me, I'm like, oh, now you desperate. Like I feel like it could end up being a scenario for Camilla in which at some point, and obviously like she has had success. I'm not gonna dispute that from her. She has had her success, but there could be a time in which people fall out of love with her, or the music not hitting like it's gonna be, and is she gonna kind of like double down and like kind of keep trying to release solo music, or like just retire, or kind of like just do whatever like J-Lo style, because J-Lo's embarrassing herself recently after that last album tank, or is she gonna like try to turn back and get back with Fifth Harmony whenever that is? Like I don't know. I just feel like it's odd that Camilo refuses to break it. It's also kind of like what's that British girl group? I forget. Little Mix. It's like Little Mix with that one little British girl that was like low key like high key pretend to be black on that one collaboration that she had with Nicki Minaj that was interpolating that Diddy song. That had Diddy in the music video. It's kind of giving that. Like I don't know. Like I feel like you shouldn't be like the girl group as like cringy and as like mixed as the history and stuff that you have with the girl group is. Like you shouldn't ignore your roots. I don't know. Like you should react to it gracefully and like kind of like flirt with the group in a graceful way, kind of like how Beyonce does with Destiny's Child. Like even though Destiny's Child, a lot of people call it like the Beyonce group and stuff like that, and how like there's a lot of stuff that happened with the girls like solo compared to like Beyonce, but Beyonce still shows a lot of love to Destiny's Child in ways that is still like very graceful. And obviously I'm not expecting Camila to like bring all these girls out on stage and perform with them and stuff like that. Like that's Camila's not that smart, so she wouldn't do anything like that, but it's okay. But I just think that like she should be open a little bit, like at least a little bit, like participate in the documentary or something at least. Like don't shut the girls out completely because you think you better than them, because you're not. But I've been telling you that. But outside of that, we can move to like the Normani of things. A lot of people are talking about like Normani and it's like, oh, like what happened with Normani? Normani was supposed to be like the pop girl. What happened? Nah, 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 nah. And I, as you know, I followed the mean era of things and how things have been going. I don't know. I like. I'm kind of at a point in which like I feel like everything, all of my thoughts have like matured. A lot of the things that I've said in the past, I still kind of stand on. I think that she does want to be. She does want to. She clearly wants to be a music artist. She does want to be a musician. She does also want to still be like in the music space, even in a solo capacity, because you can tell when she gets the chance to like perform, she wants to perform. When she gets the chance to like talk about music, she does talk about the music. She's still like kind of active and still engages in things, but I just feel I'm kind of mixed. Like I don't know if she exactly has formed the sound that she wants that also would click with the audience. And I also feel like management also meddles with some things because with the first part of things, you have her possibly not having like not solidifying her voice just yet. Um, and I say that despite the fact that like Dopamine is a very cohesive R&B album. Like that is an R&B album. And like R&B album now, like she's flirting with pop and stuff like that, but she also is like giving us the R&B things. Um, you have, and again, it's a cohesive album, but I feel like a lot of the audience that talks about Normani, I don't think it's the Normani fans, because Normani fans are very loyal. Um, I feel like a lot of people that talk about Normani were hoping that she was going to be like a pure pop star, and I feel like they do this with a lot of the girls that like are in quote unquote R&B. Whether they actually make R&B music or if they like do R&B pop mix stuff like that. Um, because and I've talked about it before, like they've done this to like Chloe when she does solo music and stuff like that before. I think a lot of the girls on social media that talk about Normani were thinking that she was going to be doing pop in the way that like she was doing with like Motivation and Love Lies and Dancing with the Stranger and those types of songs. And the fact that she very clearly has been kind of shifting towards like the 159s and the Wild Sides type of music. While it has been successful, I think a lot of people forget the fact that debuting within the top 100 is no small feat. Dopamine was a successful album, even without the visuals. As much as people really want music videos and visuals from that album, I think that there's still like there has to be some sort of way to like connect that audience with the music, and I don't know. It's kind of been a battle. There was also the situation that like came out in which there was like a songwriter that came out and said that like What It Is, the song that Doechii released, well, that was like a big hit for Doechii before her her big breakthrough with Alligator Bites Never Heal. That was originally like it went to multiple singers, but one of the singers that like was approached to like possibly take that song was Normani, and Normani and her team. A lot of people like looked at Normani specifically, but it was Normani and her team said that it wasn't like a good. They didn't pick it, and a lot of people were thinking that it was just it was suggested it was because it wasn't like what she wanted to do with music. She didn't think it was a good fit for her, and I don't know. I would love for someone to sit down and have like a conversation with her and like ask her like, oh, like with solo music, like what's kind of the vision that you have, and like her kind of really digging into detail with it. She has kind of gone into detail with like the written interviews and talked about how she is making music that can fit the different aspects that she feels like people enjoy, which is true. Like she loves, the slow jam music. She also likes the kind of like boom cat music that she can perform on stage. She loves making music that she can perform on stage, and Dopamine is a good example of that. But I think that we'll need a little bit more refinement. We also need management to also care, because it was clear that with the very long history that it took for us to get Dopamine and then the release of Dopamine, that management also had some things that, impacted the release of that, and how a lot of the complaints that happened with the music wasn't necessarily Normani's fault, but also management, because Normani's making the music and she can promote the music as much as she can, but is management going out and they're also allegedly filming music videos, but is management going out and releasing the music videos? Are they going to drop the music videos? They're going to do the physicals. They're going to have her on stage. They've only had her on stage a couple times. And there's that type of conversation that has to be had. But I do think that Normani has a space with solo music. It's just going to have to take just a little bit more time and better management, just to refine things and make sure that it really breaks through. But if she, and a part of me was kind of mixed. I know when I first saw the news, the Normani fan of me was kind of mixed. I was like, no, don't go back. You gotta just do this. Let the solo music cook. Just don't go back. But after taking a step back before recording the episode and thinking about it, I was like, it could be a smart move. It gets her to perform. She loves to perform on stage. It gives the girls, chance to remember and see what they love about Normani. And she can also use the group as cross-promotion opportunity with solo music. She could be putting out solo music around the same time she's with Fifth Harmony and being like, hey, Fifth Harmony fans, you should check out this album. And because they do have crossover, it would work. I think. It would be a smart marketing opportunity for her to do that in the ways that she can. So at first I was kind of mixed on it with her specifically, but I think it could be smart. If the rumors are true, if they do end up actually reuniting. And we also, I know it's near the end of the episode, but we also gotta have a conversation. Is this are they for real coming back, or is it just gonna be a temporary reunion? Because the way the article kind of discusses things, we're getting a documentary, and then a yet to be announced tour. So it could just be a reunion tour that they do to perform the old songs, and then they do a documentary kind of chronicling the history of the group and talk about the tour. It might not entail new music. So there's still a lot of gray area and questions that we have that we don't know yet, just because this article just came out 2 seconds ago. But all we can do is wait and see and talk about the music. Y'all know if there is new music from Fifth Harmony, I'll talk about it here on the podcast. The performances, the documentary, whatever it is, y'all know I'm going to be here to talk about it, because y'all know I love music. But that's it. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of me talking about Fifth Harmony's possible new reunion and Camilla Cabello, Normani of it all. And I hope you guys missed the podcast, because it's been a little bit. I've been busy with finals. I also have some personal life stuff going on. I also work on Red Velvet, one of my personal projects for the CakeDive channel. That's been taking time as well. I'm trying to, still put some content out, put some videos and podcast stuff out for the Cake Radio channel. Hope you guys been tuning in to Talk, my little show that I've really been enjoying, because I've been enjoying making those episodes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those episodes, and I hope you guys keep watching it, because I would like a season 2. You guys decide whether you guys get another season of that. But yeah, this has been the Cake Radio show. Be sure to subscribe, comment on the YouTube channel, because you get episodes here before anyone else. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platforms, thank you so much for supporting. Be sure to share with your friends, your family, your favorite music lover, your grandma, um, the random dude on the street that you're trying to get into. Share with them. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna talk to y'all soon. Got some more podcast ideas, some more music ideas that I want to talk about. Been a lot since I've been on, but we're gonna dig into it. But that's been it from me. I'm gonna talk to you guys next time. Love y'all. Bye bye.